Kia ora whanau, welcome back to another great episode of this series of this awareness program we're doing with the police. I have a special guest in the studio. We'll introduce her soon after this break. Great, welcome back, Fano. I'm very excited for this podcast because we really are talking about a special topic about recruitment, and I have a very special guest who will talk to us more about it. So let's welcome her. Ngametua, how are you? And welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I am feeling fantastic. A little bit nervous, but fantastic.
Great, that's okay. We are also the same as well, because when it's come on recruitment, this is something what these guys do, you know, how the job interviews happen. But this podcast have given me some confidence to talk to people.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So very welcome. Thank you for your time. I'm interested to talk about the topic more with you. But before that, this is what we do when we have a guest. We tell them, this is you, Mike, and how you would love to introduce yourself to our audience and people watching this podcast.
Oh, awesome. So I will introduce myself. My name is Ngametua Ngametua Meti. I am of Cook Island descent, so that's a little group of islands in the South Pacific. I was born and raised there, moved to New Zealand, so I'm I guess a migrant into Aotearoa. I am a sergeant here in Wellington. I am the recruitment lead. What that means is my core role is about encouraging people to choose policing as a future career choice. That's my core role, and that's around finding ways to support people, finding ways to entice or encourage people by way of information or seminars or going to expos, just events where we can be visible to all types of people. I've been in the job for 10 years. I was originally in West Auckland and moved to Wellington about 2 years ago as the Pacific Liaison Coordinator. Since then, for the past 9 months, I've taken on this role as the recruitment lead here in Wellington. So I am enjoying the space and looking at initiatives such as this to reach out to our communities, specifically our ethnic communities, about perhaps thinking about policing as a future career choice. So that's me in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, but
Absolutely.
I'm just going to keep it little and small.
What a beautiful, nice. Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
It's a pleasure to have you here. So you talked about people who would love to choose in policing in the future. Before we get into deep, I want to find out what about you? What was your passion to join police?
That's pretty straightforward. So someone said I couldn't do it.
That's interesting.
Someone said I couldn't do it, and so I proved I proved to myself that I can. And it's been 10 years, and I still love it. I still have a smile on my face. And that's what New Zealand Police and the organisation can do. If you choose the space based on your why. So my why was to be a difference, not to make a difference. There's a huge difference between making a difference and being a difference. Yeah. So you walk the walk and talk the talk in terms of being a difference, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
So that's what I would like to do. I would like to walk the walk and talk the talk. So being that difference rather than making a difference, if that makes any sense. So making a difference is finding little spaces where you can affect change. But being a difference is being that in any space.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's amazing. It's just inspiring.
Oh,
wow.
Thank you.
This is great. Hey, you, the one who's watching, maybe now, she did it. Oh, wow. I just love that. And it's love it that the way you interpret it, that be the different is different than making a difference. It's something you start with the same person, like you know. There's a big respect to you, and thank you
very much
for that and being inspiring to this corridor. Great, that's awesome. And I'm still thinking about that, but it's inspiring me, and I'm sure there's other people listening and watching as well. So that passion have led you into now kind of 10 years into the rule and growing more and more into different areas and the rules. So what's your, let's say, why that you want to bring other people into the journey? What's the other people you want to help them to look at the policing as a choice if they want to?
Firstly, I just want to acknowledge our diverse groups within New Zealand. So New Zealand has one of the most diverse populations in the world. One of the most diverse. Yeah. And being the most diverse, we are faced with particular issues that relate to our diverse communities. And in order for us to police such a diverse population, we need those from those spaces.
Yeah.
And so rather than look at a particular space where we can recruit from, we need to look at specific spaces where if there is a growth in particular crime, how do we figure out a way where we can bring in more people that actually can relate to those types of crimes? And it's usually to those people who are impacted by those crimes. And we can see that the population within New Zealand, the ethnic communities under the 2023 census has increased. And we are looking at ways where we can increase the number of ethnic police officers, both constabulary and police employees, so that's sworn and non-sworn. We can come back to that later. But we need to reflect the communities that we serve in order for us to move forward if we can. And the smoothest way that we can think of is by recruiting those who reflect our communities. So say, for example, if our communities have a vast number of ethnic communities, we obviously need those who have the cultural background. We need those who can actually speak those languages to enable us to serve those communities the best way we can. And that's one of the best things that we can think of is by bringing in people from those communities so that we can effect that positive change moving forward.
All right, great. That's awesome. And is that because of, let's say, we want more police from ethnic communities? Is it just to respond for the problems, crimes, or actually to be there to represent our communities in Aotearoa, and also not just responding to problems, but maybe educate whole the agency about how to deal with others?
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. It is to reflect and not to respond to the crime that is occurring. It is definitely to reflect the growing communities in this space. So growing are our ethnic communities. So we need to reflect, our staff need to reflect those who we serve.
Yeah, which is, I think, is great work, because, if you have, let's say, a recent family arrive from refugee or migrant backgrounds, they would feel cool if they find someone and look like them or speak their language, some of them, to be around or just to help there. They would just feel, I think, more safe or more contributing with the police as well to help whatever situation it could be.
Yes.
So it's really cool to see this growing and by the police agencies.
Oh, I love it. And the goal is to enhance mana within our communities that we serve. So if we can maintain the mana that they've held, so the respect, the honour of who they are as a family, and we go in there with the same and keep that in place when we leave, that's what we would like to create, a space where we don't take away from their respect, we don't take away from, who they are as members of the community. The goal is to keep that intact whilst we're in their home or wherever they spend their time in, and keep that intact when we leave.
Yeah, no, awesome, nice. So I have other questions about some challenges and about pathway. Which one should we start first?
I mean, you're running the show. You got this. I'll just leave it in your hands, and we'll see how we go.
Great. Okay, let's talk about the pathways. So let's say if someone right now is listening, watching, who they say, okay, great, I want to join. So what's the pathways for them to get into police?
Excellent. I can start with tertiary providers. So this is in no way, letting people know that this is the preferred one. It's just ones that are existing at the moment. So tertiary provider is NZIS, the New Zealand Institute and Sport. They're based here in Wellington. They provide a pre-police course, Certificate 3 and 4, here in Wellington on Bunny Street in the railway station. I think it's the West Wing. So they provide a pre-police course for anyone from the ages of 17 through to the age of 29 or above. But they're looking at the young ages where we can tailor more time with getting into the recruitment process. Then we have other spaces. So, for example, the ethnic patrols. So we have that group in existence, and they are a volunteer base, so they don't get paid. So in that space, you get to learn how to interact with members of the community. You work alongside police, and it's also a stepping stone for recruitment as well. So you get to learn about the recruitment process whilst you're in that space. However, just bear in mind that it's on a voluntary basis. But you can contact myself, or I can refer you on to our ethnic liaison coordinator for the district. His name is Sgt John Zhu. He is fantastic, and also looking for more patrollers. So it is a stepping stone for those who want to come through. Another thing in terms of a pathway is there's Literacy Aotearoa. So they are based in the hut. They provide courses for those who are looking at increasing their knowledge, their English knowledge, but also for what we call the psychometric assessment, which is the numeracy, literacy, and abstract reasoning, which is the online test that we have on the newcops.govt.nz. So those are some of the pathways. There are many others, but those are the main ones that we, the police, have a connection to.
Yeah, nice, beautiful. And you mentioned about patrolling. I was volunteer in that program.
Were you?
I think 4 years ago or something. Yeah, when
You must come back. You must.
I'm too busy now, but I do support them different level. Which one of them this way they could other people join. Yeah, but I enjoy it, and that time
Awesome.
we did some shift and we get access to the free music festival.
Yes, yes, but
cool,
it's
you're
also
patrolling around.
you're also patrolling and getting to know the area. If you don't know Wellington
Right,
that well,
exactly, yeah.
you get to know the area. You're walking those streets. That's fantastic. So you would know this firsthand. And
Absolutely, yeah. I would know about the
awesome.
patrolling, the way to at least have with a group of friends that
Yes.
you go together and have a shift and have a feeling, and,
Yes.
and all the training you get through,
Yes.
it's very important, the things you get learned. But I didn't know about the other pathways that you mentioned about the courses and stuff, because I have some young people are really interesting. And they've been asking me, I told them, only things I know, I connect you to people. So go talk to them. So this could be good for them and for the others as well. So that's great. Awesome. So now we have more than the pathway.
Yes.
And then what is about, we talk about some, what's happened in the college time and how people can enter into college.
Okay.
So what is that process, if you think?
Okay.
Sure.
So before you enter college, it depends on where you're based. So in terms of police talk, we have 12 districts across the nation. And the Wellington is one of those 12 districts. So if you are in Wellington, if you are looking at perhaps pursuing that career choice for police, you would go to the New Cops website. Here's a hint and tip.
Yeah.
Please be familiar with the 14 steps of the recruitment process. So that includes how you apply.
Yeah.
It includes medical assessments. It includes a vetting process. It includes a formal interview. It also includes the PAT, which is the physical appraisal test. So that's the 2.4K run. That's the push-ups or press-ups. That's the grip test, and that's the vertical jump. So that's the physical ability side of the recruitment space. There is a academic side, which we call the psychometric assessment, which is what I mentioned earlier. So that's the online test, and that's literacy, numeracy, and abstract. So literacy is about English and understanding the English language. Math, well, numbers. Numeracy is math, numbers. Abstract is about looking at shapes and then deciding which shape comes next. So the whole thing in one whole is a problem-solving tool. So in that space, you get 60 questions in 30 minutes. And that's 60 questions in 30 minutes. That's almost a half a minute per question.
Yeah.
So you must complete that. And you must pass to be able to go to the next stage. So those are just some of the components. So it's the recruitment or applying. It's the vetting system. It's the formal interview. It's the medical assessment, the PAT test, which is the physical appraisal test. And then you've got your online testing, which is the literacy, numeracy, and abstract. All that, you can complete it within 18 months.
18 months.
18 months. However, I have met some people quite recently who have done it in 6 months, and they're based here in Wellington.
Yeah.
The reason why they've gotten so quickly is because they're fit, they are healthy, and they are ready to go. So if we were to get them to do a 2.4K run in under 12 minutes tomorrow, they're ready to go. If they can do, if they understand the English language, no math and no abstract, then they're ready to go. They're ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they have those two in their back pocket, they should be ready to go within 6 months.
Yeah.
But that's on the basis that their personal lives are fine, that it's running smoothly, because home can also have an effect on the application as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's just being mindful that first you need to get your home in line with your dreams.
Yeah.
Because if home isn't there, you won't get to your dreams early enough. You need to make sure that home will be there first. And then you look in, because at the end of the day, it's a job.
Yeah.
So jobs will come and go, but family will never come and go. They are forever. So take care of family first before you can look at your dreams.
Right. Love it. Exactly. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, without the love of family, you know, the protection of family, how you can go and protect other people's. And
Exactly.
et cetera. So it's very important.
Yes, because, you know, most of our core job is about problem solving for those that we always come into contact with. So if you cannot do that at home, how are you able to do that for others?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need to align what you have at home with that at work.
Yeah. So all this process, it is pre-college or this is...
This is all pre-college.
Oh, this is all pre-college.
Oh,
then you
yeah.
have another stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It seems quite daunting and a lot, but all that process can happen within 6 months. It's
Right.
instant. It's just a lot to take in. So that's why that hint and tip, be familiar with the recruitment process first before you apply. Be ready and fit before you apply.
Yeah.
So all that before you apply.
Right.
Because some people have decided that, they wake up one day and go, I think I'm just going to join the police, and they're not ready, they're not fit, and they're not able to get through those processes as quick as they can if they were ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Right. So what if those people, let's say, they are really passionate, they're keen, they want to, but maybe they are not ready? Is there any other jobs within the police agency to apply for?
Oh,
to go
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have our authorized officers. So they cater to the custody, those who come into police custody. So they take care of them. So although they don't have the powers of arrest, they do take care of those that we do arrest. So they tailor their care on the basis of those that they receive. And those that they receive usually are not having a good day. And so these authorized officers take care of them to ensure that they are safe in police custody. So there's one space. There's also our SSOs, our service support officers. So they take care of our frontline reception space.
Right.
So although they don't wear uniforms, they get asked, like normal police officers, about questions for police officers. So although they're not police officers, they still get asked police questions. So they are not police officers, but they do cater for police officers who are on the front line. So if we're on the front line and we're going around, we're busy, our SSOs take care of those who are vulnerable and who want to come into the station. So they are essentially our other front line.
Yeah.
So there's the SSOs, our FMC, file management team. They deal with all the files that police put together for proceedings. So that's for court. They prepare
Admins
them
and
for
stuff.
court.
Yeah.
Correct. So there's another avenue. Then we've got our dispatchers, comms. So that's our 111 call takers, or our 105. So we've got our 111, if you're based in Wellington, our 111 are usually based in Wellington CBD. Our 105 is based out in Kapiti Coast. So those are yet other areas that you can come through as foundations for your stepping stone to become, someone in the blue uniform.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's very great that there's options there, to start. So, okay, then we are talking about, let's say, ethnic people backgrounds. If some of people say, if my English is not really perfect, is there a chance for them? Or is there a support around that, cultural backgrounds, language backgrounds, if someone want to really take the journey to join the police? I know you mentioned Sgt John, or if I'm correct. So there's probably many others.
Yes.
But what other support is available there, let's say, to tell them, hey, just come in, there'll be support there, and they will take you through this journey?
Yes. So I have found that those who are of ethnic descent, I have found, and I mean no disrespect to those whose first language is English, but I have found that those with ethnic backgrounds have better English. I mean no disrespect to those whose first language is English, but they are. And the reason why that is so is because they work hard at trying to understand another language. So, can you imagine someone whose first language is English learning yet another language? So it's similar in the sense that for some reason I probably speak better in English than I would in my cultural language, my mother tongue, which is Cook Island Māori.
Yeah.
Because I'm surrounded by English-speaking people. And so if you are surrounded by that language, you'll find that you might have a better understanding, but also be able to break down words because your own culture has taught you to be that way, that you break down your language first from birth.
Yeah.
You know, so you'd have to do that from a older age when you're learning English. So that is, I'm just pointing out that not all those who have ethnic backgrounds have poor English. If anything, I've seen them exceed in those spaces. So, and that's just testament to who they are and testament to their learning abilities and testament to the support systems they have around them. But in terms of trying to get into the police and what support spaces are available for them, we have those who are able to speak their language to, sort of allow them to be themselves in their own language, but the officer will have to encourage them to speak English. And so if there are parts of the English language that they don't understand, we've got people who can actually bring that understanding for them, but also increase their knowledge of the English language. So if they don't understand a specific space in their own language, then this officer can say, hey, this is what it means. So it increases their knowledge. So it actually enhances their knowledge. It doesn't take away from who they are.
Yeah.
It just adds to who they are and those layers of who they are.
Yeah.
So those are some spaces. There's also access to our ESOL contacts, so English language or language Aotearoa, or the English Language Trust.
English language partners, maybe?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. They are the ones. So I've only seen them once, and they also offer those programs to them as well. But we highly encourage that they learn the English language first to be able to take all our recruitment processes, and they're all in English.
Right. Yeah.
They're all in English. There is no space where they can be themselves in the recruitment process because this recruitment process has to be fair across the board for everyone. So English is the language that is spoken when dealing with the recruitment process.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we must be fair.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great. It's clear. And it's also fair because you need to have that language that you will, most of your time, you will deal the population to speak it.
Correct.
So it is something like, I think most of our ethnic communities who speak 2 or 3 languages, they are absolutely fine with it.
Yes.
With a little bit of training and encouragements that
Yes.
is not, you can.
Yes.
Which we started with that beautiful korero, that how you started, that you can make it.
Absolutely.
So really, that's just a great example and answer for all this question and everything's there. So that's awesome. I want to talk about some challenges and your experience on the rule you may have really is now be aware about some of the challenges could face the ethnic background people in recruitment space and stuff. If you have one example or two to share, would be great.
Yes, I do have. Actually, I do have a few examples, but I think one thing I would like to share in terms of our ethnic communities is not to shy away from who you are.
Mm-hmm.
There is usually doubt in those who are of ethnic descent. So, and this also goes out as far as our Pacific communities, even our Māori communities, this ability that we cannot shine like everyone, like those who should shine.
Yeah.
So don't shy away from your strengths. If anything, if you feel that you want to do something, then do it. The only person who limits your abilities is you.
Yes.
So if you think that, the sky is the limit and that the universe is there to tailor and cater to your dreams, then it is only limited by your imagination.
Yeah. Agree.
Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. Because that's the one. It's all about you, because we are here, I think there's a lot of misconception, if I can say, a lot of fear that people think, oh, if you join the army or police, it will take years, or they will not accept you because of my culture, my background, my all of that stuff. So that's why they may think they get discouraged to just trying, or just to knock the doors, connect, find out, search for information. Have you tried? Because it's this you can hear, but have you tried? Did you talk to someone?
Yes.
That's a little bit problem. That's why I think the only ability will be you yourself. If you don't not try the next steps, you can hear things, but if you don't go try, it's a different, right? If you
Yes.
can hear, you can see the things in the news, but doesn't mean this is reality of this news as well, you know?
Yes. So that's one of the challenges that I've seen. So someone limiting themselves to what they think they should be, but other people can see that they're more.
Yeah.
They are more than what they are. So that belief and confidence to know what you want and going for it.
Yeah.
So that limits how that's one of the challenges, and it's really tough, especially when you're going through the recruitment process, and a recruitment process in another language
Yeah.
that is not yours.
It is. Absolutely. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you pointed out another challenge, that fear. Policing in other countries from where, they may come from may differ from the police here in New Zealand. What we can say and what we usually say is that police in New Zealand, you do not have to pay them for their services. Their services are for free.
Yeah.
Their services are for free. And you can ask for our services 24/7. And we are available 24/7. And we are one of the least corrupt police organizations in the world.
Yeah. Awesome. Then that will lead me another question. If there's no more challenges left. The other question is, what's the benefits? What benefits you get with joining police?
So when you join the police, you get paid whilst you're training at police college. So the annual rate is 56. So for 20 weeks, you get paid $56,000. Once you leave, it goes up to 65. So you get paid whilst training. So the training will include 3 meals a day.
Nice.
Yep.
More than one.
You get your super. You begin your super the moment you sign your contract to become a recruit to go into police college.
Yeah.
Which means that you are going to benefit later in life. So your superannuation will be set for life. So which means that you have those benefits in life. In terms of health benefits, so the police has some of the best deals in terms of health benefits and the least in terms of percentage right across the board. So we have access to that as police employees. So not just sworn, but also non-sworn. They also have the same benefits as well.
Nice.
Another thing is it's for individual growth as well as working within a team. So there are dynamics in there where you can be self-sufficient as an individual, but also work together as a team for the same goal or vision or focus. So if you're self-sustainable, there is a space for you. If you work well in teams, there is a space for you. So it caters to both individuals or those as a collective.
Yeah.
Another thing, and I'm just looking at my notes here. There are over 30 career options within the police.
Wow.
30 career options within the police. And some of those are specialized areas. And some of those are NZQA accredited, which means you get to do a paper at a tertiary education level degree level, which is I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
As well as that, you get to serve the communities you are from. Now, you know, as much as we all talk about pay, it is your initial why. Why do you want to join? And most of it is to service the communities that we come from.
Yeah.
So that's usually the hook where I'm able to pull in people, because it pulls into the heartstrings. And that's where I dwell, in those heartstrings, because money will come and go.
Right.
But what you do in life will be here tomorrow and forever. It is a legacy that you will leave behind.
Yeah.
And it's that legacy that we all look for.
Yeah.
We search for our why. We search for something that we want to leave behind when we leave. Because we don't leave with money. We don't leave with all these material things. Not at all.
No.
But it's how you leave this earth and how you were on this earth that becomes your legacy.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's it. That summarizes everything. So I think it's just great way to talk. I'm coming aware about the time. Just checking about if there's any other topics you think I did not mention. So questions you would love to share with.
I think I just want to cover off perhaps the eligibility criteria.
Yes, please.
And this is just what's required.
Yeah.
So you must be 17 years and over of age. You must have your full New Zealand driver's license. As I mentioned before, the process takes about 18 months, but I've met some people within the last 9 months who have done it in 6. So be ready and be fit
Yep.
to go. But that's pretty much all that I can add in terms of what's required.
Right. Absolutely. Great. And if they need anything, they can always visit the websites or
Yep.
check with.
Yep, so
someone to
newcops.govt.nz is the website, and everything to do with police is on there. You just need to be either seek for some support about how to navigate that space,
Yeah.
or just, you know, play around with the gadgets and widgets or whatever they're called. Play around with them, get familiar with what they are and who they are, and where they are.
Awesome. Great. That's great. Which is coming to this end. I really loved this conversation. But before we finish that, what's your message if you want to send the message to the people who are listening, watching this podcast?
One thing I would like, there are many things I would like to say, but I think the one thing that I would leave is this message. Be courageous if you decide that you want to be a future police officer in the New Zealand Police. Have the courage, have the confidence and belief that you can get through. If you can do that, once you get that, then find out what your why is. Why join police? Why do it? If money was not a thing, then why do it at all? So that's my message. Have the confidence, the belief, but know your why first.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
You're welcome.
it. It was really great, Koriro, to a little bit find out more about the recruitments, the process around it, and the great stuff you're doing. So we're coming to the end of this podcast, but we have in season 5, just want to move this slowly. We do this traditions with our guest. So we call it our guest messages. So what happened here, the previous guest, you may not know who was it, so have left us questions. So we will ask you whatever questions have been written to us here. And then you will also have opportunity to write for the next guest is coming to us. Yeah. So let's find out what is the question here. So here's the question from our previous guest, trying to read it for you. What's the belief that you have held on too far to for a long time, and have recently changed your perspective on?
The one thing that I have, a great question, by the way, the one thing that I have had in my mind and the belief is that blood is thicker than water, that family is by blood. But that's not the case. I have found that family are those that make you feel stronger. Family are those that are not of blood who will be there at the drop of a hat when you're in trouble. Family are those who will drop everything just so that you are taken care of. So family isn't blood. Family are those who make you feel supported, make you feel stronger, make you uplift who you are and enhance who you are as a person.
Absolutely. Love it. Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.